What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 here for another Hot Toys video review. This time it's a Star Wars figure again. I told myself I'm not gonna dive into this franchise because it's too big, but I just can't help myself. These figures are so nice. The movie is great. You know, I'm just weak, man. I'm just weak. Yes, hopefully this addiction won't go far. I'm trying to complete episode 4, maybe buy a couple of stormtroopers and that's it, but who knows what Rogue One is gonna bring us. But yeah, this is Kylo Ren from episode 7. It's pretty cool. Nice character. That's one of the reasons I bought him. One of the great quality of Star Wars film is, at least their universe is creating a nice villain. Yeah, something that Marvel should take a note of. But yeah, you know, he's a must-have in my opinion if you're a Star Wars fan. As you can see on the box, I just want to point this out. It says MMS 330 Stormtrooper Copper Chrome version. As you know, this is one of those limited edition that came out. But for some reason, when I got this figure, this is the back part. So I guess it's one of those errors of Hot Toys. I'm going to make a big fuss out of this one. It is what it is. It's the back of the box. No one sees this. So yeah, it's in a shoe type of box. As you can see there. Let's take this out. Nice inlay cover of the figure with a bunch of stormtroopers behind him. I believe that I always say that stormtroopers shouldn't be. They're like Chitauris. Although they are more iconic because you know everyone knows Star Wars, but they're background figures. They can't cost as much as the main character. Like let's say Kylo Ren is $224. The Stormtrooper Gunner is $224. I mean he's their boss. Yeah, I mean, I get it, the point, but if you're trying to build an army of stormtroopers, I mean, if you're Hot Toys, maybe we should knock them down a little bit more so collectors would, you know, take it easy, maybe would sell more, you know, but yeah, who am I to, you know, give them advice. And here you go, these are the accessories. He doesn't come with much. That's the unfortunate part of this guy. He's pretty bare bones, and to be quite honest with you, it's a pretty boring figure. He's dressed up in black. If you're not a huge Star Wars fan, this is gonna be a turnoff. It's not one of those eye catcher. Well, you have an Iron Man with the, you know, like a shiny red, you know, on your shelf. It was like automatically people are gonna be like, wow, that's a nice looking piece right there. He could be a NECA for all you know, because he's wearing a mask and all that stuff. No one would know. Let's put it this way: no one would know that he's a $224 figure. That you paid almost $250 for him, including the shipping. So those are the gloves, and as usual, he comes with a separate hand for the light up feature for the lightsaber, which is pretty cool on its own merit. I always mentioned I always like this feature, and I hope in the future that they could do something. I mean, it's as far as this particular release, it's not that hard to replace the hand, but if you got something like Vader who's really fragile, you know, I would be opposed to it. And let me turn on the lights. It works for the most part, even though, you know, you kind of lose the light towards the end of the saber, but it still does the job pretty well in my opinion. So you know, no complaints right there. And as you know, he has a different, these red lights, not lights, but you know, like the beams on the saber is removable, so you can, he comes with another lightsaber as if all Star Wars figure. So if you don't want the light up function, because you have more flexibility when you're using this one, and so all you gotta do is remove the, you know, the laser or whatever you call that portion of the lightsaber, and kind of just, you know, insert that there. And it's made out of plastic, it's not die cast or anything, but as you can see, the paint apps is amazing, so no complaints in there. It's pretty identical, or if not the same type as the one that's on the hand. And as far as the stand, you can see the First Order symbol right there, Star Wars kind of logo. It says Kylo Ren. It's pretty much the same base as RoboCop or the Terminator one. It has a glossy finish on top that a lot of complaints are it does scratched up pretty easily, and I can imagine my RoboCop because it's die cast. You know, I get reports with Kylo Ren, but it's a stand, you know, it's supposed to get scratched up, I guess. And here you go. As far as the figure itself, As his costume, the good news is it doesn't hinder any articulation. I guess as far as the waist, maybe because of the belt, but hands, feet, you can do all sorts of movement, and that's something that you want in every figure. But unfortunately, you get guys like Batman, the first, I guess the first one at least, the Batman Begins, because of the rubber suit. Ant-Man, the first one. And it's a give and take. Sometimes you get aesthetic wise, you kind of sacrifice the articulation part. But on this guy, because he's just wearing layers of fabric, so all you gotta do really is be accurate as far as making sure that you use the right fabric and the layering is correct, which for the most part is. But at the same time, it's not Hot Toys' fault that he just looks boring. A guy in a black dress, a long black dress with layers of stuff. He's skinny too, so that doesn't help his cause. He doesn't have, I always say I put him in the same category as Darth Maul, which is an awesome villain, looks badass. Although I would give Darth Maul, the edge as far as badass is being badass is concerned aesthetically. He's a stronger character, I suppose. I haven't seen the entire episodes, but the entire trilogy or whatever they're doing now. But he looks like more of an engaged character than Darth Maul, who just died with like 7 words that he said. But yeah, Headsculpt. Yeah, it looks great. Don't get me wrong. He's wearing a mask though. The mask paint application's amazing. My point is he shouldn't be worth $224 because you didn't have to sculpt the face. That's one thing that I'm always impressed with Hot Toys is their museum-like, sculptures on the face. When you get somebody like Alfred from Batman, like the Dark Knight, awesome. You won't see that from NECA or any other toys. But if you have a character like him, like this guy who's masked, NECA can replicate the same thing, maybe minus the scratches or the little details on it, but they would come close, like a small time toy manufacturer would come close because it's not that complicated. I guess that's what separates Hot Toys from the other company. And then when you put especially when you put this hood on, now you lose more details in it. So it is what it is, I guess. But at the same time, they shouldn't charge the same way, in my opinion. I know they're getting bigger now, but that's how you lose customers, though, is the trust factor, because sometimes they're being fueled by greed. And I know they're a business, but like I said, if you have a stormtrooper who's a background at best, some people maybe buy stormtroopers by themselves. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna buy a Vader or a Kylo Ren. I'm just gonna collect stormtroopers. Maybe there's people like that, but maybe, I don't know, 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10. Mostly you're gonna buy a Vader and then surround him with stormtroopers, so they should be cheaper. And as far as height comparison is concerned, you can see Vader is a lot taller than Kylo Ren. Not a lot, but he is. But he is definitely taller than Luke Skywalker, who's just really short, even in real life. So, but yeah, these are for now, my only 3 Star Wars figure before Chewie and Han Solo and the old guy Obi-Wan comes into the mix. And then thereafter that, I don't know, might get a couple of stormtroopers, Leia, maybe R2D2, C3PO I wouldn't say if, but when they come out. For sure, Hot Toys are going to capitalize on this franchise. I'm pretty sure they paid big bucks to acquire the license of Star Wars. And Yoda, I was excited for Yoda until I saw the price point. I was like, come on, man, this guy is like half the size of a normal 1/6 figure. Do I really need the log? Perhaps not. I just want him to be there. I just want him to represent Yoda. If you can sell me $150 Yoda, that would be better than charging $200 and putting accessories that I don't need for the most part. That would just look kind of weird. You know, I understand it with Boba Fett, you know, having the Sarlacc pit, because at least it's within scale. But I don't know, man. To have Yoda the same price as a normal figure, I think is just absurd. And one more pose. I kind of like the previous pose a lot, you know, like holding his sword. This one is more of, you know, just force. He's playing with his force, or he's showing off, or something like that. You know, Kylo Ren is an interesting character. I think he's gonna be a big player moving forward in this new Star Wars universe. And you know, it'll be interesting how his character evolves, or if he does changes his costume, or he remains the same way, maybe just tweak it a little bit here and there. And that's basically what happened to Darth Vader throughout the progression of the first, episode 4 to 6. I mean, he made some changes in his costume, but he stayed true to what Darth Vader is, which is just black. His tunic was out, his tunic was in. That's pretty much it. But I don't know. We'll find out, because you know, he got injured. For those who has seen episode 7, you know, it'll be interesting to find out what's in store next for Kylo Ren. And this is one of the poses where, I mean, yeah, I guess you can still pull it off with the lightsaber hand, the light up feature one. But this is one of those things where I'd rather use the non-light up one, because you just get a better range of movement, better positioning of hands. Overall, I think it's just, you know, there are certain features, that's why they included both. So pretty awesome nonetheless. I like this pose a lot, and I'm gonna stop it right there, and you know, let's just absorb this for a moment. You know, I can make a more ferocious poses with this guy, but yeah. There you go. That's a lightsaber right there, and you just take this off. Pretty sweet. You know, I can't wait to take pictures of him and all that stuff. And that's another pose that we have right here. It's just him fighting Luke Skywalker. You can see the height difference there. It's just big. It's a big height difference between him and Luke Skywalker, but Luke Skywalker looks like a child next to him. I can just imagine next to Darth Vader. But, you know, you gotta have Luke. A lot of people are messing with Luke Skywalker, saying he doesn't even look like it. This lightsaber is so much brighter than Kylo Ren. I like it. I don't know. I like this figure. You know, I'm gonna keep this. This is gonna be my Luke Skywalker figure. I'm not gonna buy, you know, like 7 versions of him in a tattooing, you know, like Death Star. I don't know, whatever they're gonna come up with. And that's pretty much it. You know, that's the review for Kylo Ren. As you can see there, there's not a whole lot of accessories. That's all you're getting. I'm pretty much buying the character, not the figure. Because as far as the figure, it's pretty boring. Not gonna lie to you. But the character is pretty interesting. I like it. I like the movie. That's why I bought him. And sometimes that's enough. You know, there are certain times where I don't like the character, but I buy the figure because it looks awesome. And it's the reverse for this one. So if you are a big fan, he is a must-have. Will it go cheaper someday? Maybe. I highly doubt it though. But yeah, you can take the chance. So thank you for watching, and until next time.